creation, the ancients of the deep convened a gathering. Moving upon the darkness were the oldest and most terrible, assembled for the first time since last they imposed silence upon the worlds. One of these ancients, the progenitor, was found by the gathering to have improperly shared names and ways with underlings beyond the veil. He was therefore rectified, immolated, and cast down from the deep places. To complete the gathering and satisfy the Watcher, a successor was sought. Some of the progenitor's offspring, begat by mortal consorts, retained sufficient divinity to stand for induction. These progeny would be summoned to Rokur, the place of blood rites, and made to do battle with one another in fratricidal combat. The victor would become a god.
Welcome to Demigod. Here you'll have the chance to take control of one of 8 Titans of Combat and duke it out for the supreme and all-inclusive title of God. In my review, I'll break the game up into 4 categories: story, design, gameplay, and presentation. Each category will be given a score and an average at the end for a total. The truth is, besides the intro video, there really is no story in this game, so we'll just chalk it up to not applicable. From the get-go, it's apparent Demigod was made for multiplayer, a given considering there really is no single player. An important thing to note is, in multiplayer, there is a slight learning curve, due to the multitude of upgrade options ranging from your skill tree, citadel, item shop, or artifact shop. There are 8 different maps and 4 different gameplay types: Conquest, Dominate, Slaughter, and Fortress. Each one has a plethora of options. Each game type pits the 2 teams against each other. In Conquest, your goal is to destroy the enemy's citadel. In Dominate, you want to capture and hold the flags until you have all the points necessary for victory. In Slaughter, you want to kill the opposing team's demigods. So basically it's like team deathmatch. And finally Dominate, where your goal is to destroy 5 slightly smaller fortresses.
Double smite! The forces of light have destroyed a fortress. Fight!
Fight, fight, and fight some more. That's what you do in this game. But you do have an option of how you fight. This comes in the package of a character. There are 8 individual characters, and each has its own separate and distinct combat style, although some of the characters feel a little overpowered, most notably the Rook for the Assassins and the Queen of Thorns for the Generals. When playing any of the Assassins, the handling is reminiscent of Diablo or Warcraft style hero, easy enough for the casual gamer, but where the depth comes in is with the Generals, who in addition to having skills of their own, have the ability to summon and control minions, each with a specific purpose of their own, whether it's damage, healing, or a variety of other talents. Just keep in mind that the main purpose of the general skills are to enhance their soldiers and receive
I am
protection in
ready to
return,
protect and
whereas the
serve.
assassins are much more combat oriented and tend to level faster.
I'm so lonely.
Aurora light shines in me.
I will rule this place.
While Demigod doesn't push any boundaries, it delivers pretty solid graphics and some really impressive character modeling, at least on the heroes. The buildings and the environment aren't incredibly impressive, but some of the backdrops are absolutely breathtaking. In all, Demigod managed to deliver relatively impressive graphics given its use of the DirectX 9 system. As for the sound in this game, I don't think there's a single bad thing I can say about it. From the voices of the characters to the sound of spells or clashes of swords or hammers or whatnot, even environmental music, this game just does brilliantly in the music and sound aspect. Story. You know, the fact they focused mostly on multiplayer it's cool, but it would have been nice to have seen something like a Twisted Metal type ending instead of just this.
The entrance of the deep beckon. We have foreseen your legacy. You will be a builder of worlds. The greatest force of creation since the first separation of the dark and light places. You will mold planets, raise mountain ranges, and fill vast oceans. Your era will be remembered as a great flourishing, and the paradises of your making will be celebrated until the last days. You are now a god!
Design. You know, given that the developer focused almost exclusively on multiplayer, it was a real bummer that there was no map editor included in this game. The developer has promised future updates and possible downloadable items, but we don't know at this point if we'll have to pay for these or if they'll be included free of charge. Gameplay. The fact is, the gameplay in this is absolutely addictive. If you have a small break, you can sit down and find just enough time to play a match, or if you have more time, you could find yourself engrossed in this game. Presentation. Maybe the developer's decision to use the DirectX 9 system was to allow more casual gamers access as well as the hardcore. If they wanted to reach that wide of an audience, they should have lowered the price point.